Do a body roll. Eh, eh, eh. All right. So I was just watching old GoPro videos that I found. I found an old SD card that had all of my GoPro videos on it, and this is from 10 years ago, guys. This is from 10 years ago. I was watching these videos, and oh my God, that Fluke was so different than the Fluke of today. Like the Fluke of today is so chill, but also like can summon the energy to be high energy if I need to. And then the Fluke from 10 years ago is like just high energy all the time. Also really cocky and confident and kind of arrogant, I guess. Wow, crazy. Anyways, it was a meme 10 years ago for me to run up to my friends and be like, body roll, and then we all have to do a body roll like this. That's how I learned how to body roll through Tops and Blue. I used to be in this show called Tops and Blue. It's like, have you ever heard of like a USO show? It's like the army used to do USO shows for like people who lived overseas, and it was a way that they could like boost morale and bring gifts to people during Christmas when they're away from their families and stuff. So USO show is very near and dear to a lot of veterans' hearts. Same with Tops and Blue. I grew up going to these Tops and Blue shows all the time, like every single year. They would show up to like a baseball stadium with a semi truck, and they would suddenly unload all this equipment, and there's like lights and cameras and everything, and they just set it all up. And then these singers start coming out on stage, and they have the most beautiful voices. And as soon as one of them starts singing, you immediately are like locked eyes with them. You're like, oh shit, these guys know what they're doing because they have been trained vocally. Not only that, but the show is like completely choreographed, and they leave like a positive message for uh, military personnel and whatnot. And yeah, it was a really good time. So I was in Tops and Blue back in the day. And these old GoPro videos are ones that I took when I was in Tops and Blue. So it's just crazy because that was like a year long thing that I did, a year long performance thing. And I didn't realize until now that it took me being around these types of people who are incredibly talented and passionate in what they do that it seeped into me. It made me be super cocky and confident in myself and like walk around with my chest up and stare people right in the eye and know exactly what to say at exactly the right time. And if I say it wrong, then that was intentional. I don't know. I had a very strong attitude, type A personality 10 years ago from Tops and Blue because I spent a whole year with 36 or 38 other people who are just at the top of their game. You know, guys, we made it. We all made it into the show. There were a ton of people that auditioned. There was that 10-day audition in Texas, and they turned away a ton of people who came, but we were the 38 who made it out and made it onto the show because of our talents and because of our hard work and our passions. And being surrounded by that is just so life changing. That has like, that's like being, you know how like people go into basic training and they're like, yeah, basic training changed me because they really taught me discipline and how to be a well-rounded person with a backbone. I didn't realize that I didn't have much of a backbone before, but now I definitely do after going through basic training. It was like basic training, but as if it had gone on for a whole 9 months, which is how long the tour was. It was 9 months long. Um, so imagine going through that much of a life-changing experience, and basic training is only like 2 months, but for 9 months, that's crazy. Um, Being around those kind of people is really inspirational, and I would love to do that again. So I'm going to set it as my goal to be like that around all my friends, and also find qualities like that in other people that I compliment and lift them up and say, hey, I really like that you did that. Please keep doing that. Doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and find the exact type of people that I met in Tops and Blue who are like people who would, push me to achieve my goals and stuff. I'm perfectly happy with my friends, and I am perfectly happy with, instead of leaving them for something else, look for things inside of them that I appreciate and focus on those instead of focusing on what they are not, instead lifting up what they are. Okay. Wow. That sounded very preachy. That was weird. Okay. This is week 3 check-in. Hell yeah. This is some of the art that I made. Oh, okay. Okay, so I went to the art store. I went to hang out with my friend, then we went to Colorado Springs, and we went to an art store, and they had a bunch of these used canvases of people who like drew on it, but then they didn't like it, so they just said, no, you guys can keep it. I don't want to take this thing home with me. I was looking through their used canvases, and they're only $5. And I'm like, I'm kind of on a budget. I can't really spend that much money on canvases. So yes, I will get 2 $5 canvases. And I got one of them, and one of them had a Sharpie alpaca drawn on it. So I was like, it's okay. I have this stuff called gesso, and you can put that. It's like a white color, and you put it on your canvas, and it will most likely cover the canvas up. So I tried that, and I was like, I feel like I need some sort of a color, like a base. So I put on some blue on it as well. And instead of like covering it up and waiting for it to dry and painting it another time later, and instead I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna paint something. I have my white and I have my blue. So this is for sale. It's $300. So I'm gonna turn into one of those YouTubers that's like, the caption is like, I spent 87 hours on this. Slowly turns it around. And then it's actually like good art. Like you think it's going to be like a Mickey Mouse or something, but it's like really good. Anyways, it's interpretive art, okay? So you look at it and you tell me what you see. Okay. Oh, also, I want to talk about something. Comments on this channel. Okay. I think I'm okay with enabling them. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. I'll just enable them. I'll just see what happens if I enable them. Okay? But I know what my compass is. I know that I'm doing these videos as a check-in on my life and for future me to look back on and be like, oh, that's how I was when I was 31 years old. Yes, it is for myself, but it is also for those who want to hear what I'm going through, and maybe it can impact their lives. Because a lot of my friends have already reached out to me and say that, I really appreciate that you made that video. It's made me pick up painting again. That's cool, okay? So, if you feel the need to leave a comment and say, these videos are great, they're helping me out with this and that, that's great. But also, if you just want to say what's on your mind, that's fine too. This is what happens. I focus too much on that. Okay, what are you gonna say? How should I say it? How will that affect me? And I think that was the reason why I turned off the comments in the first place. Okay, let's move on from that. So yes, I made art. Well, last week I did that acrylic drawing of Layla, which is a dog. I decided to put something on top of it to lock in the charcoal. So I sprayed on some sealant, and that made it look a lot darker. But now it's ready for acrylic paint. I'm just a little bit hesitant. And then I did this. Oops. And then I did this. It's a charcoal of the same drawing. It's a charcoal drawing of the same picture. And that is in case I mess up the oil painting picture. Or it turns out to be like I don't like the way it looks. I'll be able to do it again. Okay. So I did that. I have done I've done a lot of art. I've kind of like hung them up everywhere though. Like one is all the way over there. Another one, like two of them are hung up downstairs. So I'll just go ahead and take some pictures and show them to you. Here, this one is of a little cat, and I saw a picture of this little cat, and I was high, and I was like, I bet I could draw that. So I drew it, and I hung it up on Tyrex's wall. The next one, I wanted to mix oil paints. I had never mixed oil paints to get together before. I've only mixed acrylic paints, so that's oil paint. And it looks really cool. I like the transition of colors. It's so much more high detail than acrylic, I feel. Like it has a little bit more depth, a lot more depth. I like how that one turned out. I've been doing, and this one, which is hung up in the corner of my room, is a self-portrait. I just took a picture of myself because I wanted to take a picture of that big canvas, and I ended up taking a picture of myself. So I took that picture and I redrew it and I put it on my wall. I kind of like how it is. It's literally just pen on canvas. I'm sure I've done a lot more. I'll go ahead and put them on the screen. That's all the art that I've done this week. Cool. Was I going to talk about anything else? I think that was good. I'm almost done with the book, because the book is 12 weeks long. I'm on week 11, and still been doing my journaling, so. Okay. Body roll.